Welcome to Spilling Tea with Kiki, where entertainment means innovation. Hosted by Hollywood powerhouse Keri Ann Kimball. Get ready for conversations that inspire, entertain, and challenge the status quo. Grab your cup. It's time to spill some tea. With your host, Keri Ann Kimball. A powerhouse in the entertainment industry for over 2 decades, Keri Ann Kimball has established herself as a leading figure in Hollywood. As a founder of Kimball Entertainment, she has worked with major studios, networks, and countless celebrities. Her expertise spans across publicity, production, and talent management, making her the perfect host to bridge the worlds of entertainment, business, and innovation. Steve Keinath is a philanthropist, entrepreneur, and passionate investor in clean, renewable technologies. He's been instrumental in backing projects that push the boundaries of innovation, including Sea Dog Systems, which harnesses ocean wave energy to generate sustainable power. Whether he's out on the water or in the boardroom, Steve is driven by a single goal: to create a better world through smart, sustainable solutions. You are now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki, featuring Steve Keinath. In a world of constant noise, one voice can change everything. Moxie Media Marketing, founded by visionary Kenneth W. Welch Jr., is revolutionizing how talent is discovered, developed, and shared with the world. Our global network connects extraordinary artists with audiences hungry for authentic expression. We don't just promote talent, we nurture it, champion it, and build platforms where creativity thrives without compromise. From our groundbreaking Harmony of Generations concert series to digital media innovations, we're creating a new entertainment ecosystem where artists maintain their voice and vision. Moxie Media Marketing, because the most powerful stories are waiting to be told. You are now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki, featuring Steve Keinath.
Steve, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
I'm happy to have you on Spilling Tea with Kiki. A lot of the work you do is fascinating. Before we dive deep into your work with Global Corporate Machine, can you share a little bit about your background?
I was born in Minnesota. I grew up in St. Louis. I've called Colorado my home for the last 42 years. I'm a Cargill heir.
Our viewers may not be familiar with Cargill, so could you explain a little bit more about your connection to it? I know you mentioned it earlier.
For those who don't know about Cargill, they're the largest privately held corporation in the world, and they're in the grains and turkeys, supply chains, transportation. If you've had McDonald's or a turkey for Thanksgiving, you've probably had a Cargill product.
Did they sort of groom you in the family to be a part of that company?
They did, yes. My mom used to take me a lot up and show me the ropes. Mm-hmm. It instills in you how corporations function, and being in on the shareholders meetings, and learned a lot. But as I said, I left the nest and I went my own way.
Right.
I had things I had to find out for myself.
Yeah. And I guess along that way you met Kenneth.
I did. Close to 30 years later, I met Ken.
So you're a board member and a majority shareholder at Global Oceanic Designs. When did you first get involved with the company?
Through a pool of investors that invested in one of Kenny's energy devices. It was called the air water motor, which was a recovery energy device.
And that's Kenneth W. Welch.
And that's Mr. Welch's invention.
And when you met him, what was your initial read?
Well, the energy that radiated off him and the vibes that come off him is really remarkable.
Is that what inspired you to get involved?
What inspired me was a fear I have. As I got older and my kids got older, and as I started traveling, fishing around the world, I started noticing how dirty things were getting. It got me to wondering, my grandkids and their kids, what kind of world are they going to be living in?
Right.
Are they going to have the minimum of what I had or more? And my greatest fear is they won't. So that was a motivation for me when I saw this tech, looked like a solution or could be a solution.
Right.
It gave me a purpose and a passion. And when I pass, I feel that, I've done everything I can for not just my kids or my children's children, but all the children of the world.
I find that admirable. I think our society is so focused on right now, what can I get, what's going on, and you're thinking about the future. So I really appreciate that.
You're now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki. In a world of constant noise, one voice can change everything. Moxie Media Marketing, founded by visionary Kenneth W. Welch Jr., is revolutionizing how talent is discovered, developed, and shared with the world. Our global network connects extraordinary artists with audiences hungry for authentic expression. We don't just promote talent, we nurture it, champion it, and build platforms where creativity thrives without compromise. From our groundbreaking Harmony of Generations concert series to digital media innovations, we're creating a new entertainment ecosystem where artists maintain their voice and vision. Moxie Media Marketing, because the most powerful stories are waiting to be told. You are now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki, featuring Steve Keinath.
And so when we were talking earlier, you said part of the reason you got involved in his new technology was out of fear of your grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and so on, the legacy of your family.
Yeah, the fear was that they wouldn't have what I had. I want them to have more, along with the rest of not just my family.
Right.
This includes, all the world's children and even the creatures of this planet.
I found that fascinating when I talked to Kenny, because I've always thought about going out in space. I didn't even think of looking at our own home, which is the ocean right there.
Yeah, it is interesting. There's more money spent on space than there's so much to discover on our planet.
So a question I like to ask all of my guests is, if you could, what advice would you give your younger self?
Well, that's a good question. If I could go back and give my younger self, I would say, remember the lessons taught by mom and dad. More loving, more care. Don't be afraid to fall. Pick yourself up. Learn from it. You'll be all right.
I love that. I love don't be afraid to fall.
You're now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki. In a world of constant noise, one voice can change everything. Moxie Media Marketing, founded by visionary Kenneth W. Welch Jr., is revolutionizing how talent is discovered, developed, and shared with the world. Our global network connects extraordinary artists with audiences hungry for authentic expression. We don't just promote talent, we nurture it, champion it, and build platforms where creativity thrives without compromise. From our groundbreaking Harmony of Generations concert series to digital media innovations, we're creating a new entertainment ecosystem where artists maintain their voice and vision. Moxie Media Marketing, because the most powerful stories are waiting to be told. And now, for the first time on television, businessman and philanthropist Steve Keinath unveils two remarkable monuments dedicated to honoring our nation's veterans. Created by Colorado artist Cathy Meskel of the Support Our Soldiers Foundation, these marble tributes commemorate the women of World War I and the women of Vietnam.
Hi, Steve. Thank you for coming on. I'm honored to have you here today. I know you have not seen what we're going to unveil later. Can you tell me a little bit about this project?
This project started 3 years ago by a lovely lady who wears her heart on her sleeves for the veterans of World War I all the way up to Afghanistan. It's a set. There's 12. And these two are being unveiled for the first time here.
I know that you're a philanthropist and you give a lot to a lot of different places. Why was this cause important to you?
These monuments were inspired by Miss Cathy Meskel. As a young girl, wore a POW bracelet and wore it for years, and she found out that the person on that bracelet never made it home. So she prayed to God, and God gave her a mission to keep going. Not this time, but what she did do is anything from that. She sent thousands of letters to war zones from Desert Storm on, care packages, St. Michael's medals, prayer cards, and it's funny, she did so well on her own. This is by herself, and she used all her money. And when she needed money, she would ask for a little help just to get through the month of mailing. Well, it was kind of sad that these packages, by the time Iraq and Iran had, those wars, she was sending more packages, getting more responses than all these organizations that's what they're supposed to do. So, of course, they shut her down. She could, and she found out later that none of her packages were making it. And it was very respect to the veterans. And that's what this is all about. Respecting, honoring, and making sure they're never forgotten.
You're now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki. In a world of constant noise, one voice can change everything. Moxie Media Marketing, founded by visionary Kenneth W. Welch Jr., is revolutionizing how talent is discovered, developed, and shared with the world. Our global network connects extraordinary artists with audiences hungry for authentic expression. We don't just promote talent, we nurture it, champion it, and build platforms where creativity thrives without compromise. From our groundbreaking Harmony of Generations concert series to digital media innovations, we're creating a new entertainment ecosystem where artists maintain their voice and vision. Moxie Media Marketing, because the most powerful stories are waiting to be told. You are now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki, featuring Steve Keinath.
Is your family involved with veterans? Is that why you feel very passionate about this project?
Well, my dad was in the military. He graduated from West Point. It's a brotherhood, the military. I have two deaf brothers that happen to need an education for the deaf. And St. Louis was the only place. So he retired after 6 years. But growing up, I saw that the brotherhood never stopped. And how people were mistreated in World War, in Vietnam. And it was just wanting to know what really happened. Not that we, won the war or, these monuments that contribute to the command.
Right.
But the individual that would risk his life to save a stranger in uniform. Those kind of unselfish acts. That, here in America, somebody's getting beat up and they just film it.
Right.
They run away from it instead of going in. And these men, and women need to be honored, along with, not everyone that were involved in these wars were, actually wore a uniform. So these monuments tonight are a little bit different and unique in the way that, don't want to, spoil the surprise here.
Okay, no, don't spoil the surprise.
But not
very honored that you're unveiling them here. I'm very excited to see them. And I know you haven't actually seen them yet, have you?
No. The trust I have in Cathy and her team of artists, I have no issue with what I'm going to see when these are unveiled. Because her team is top notch and all the people involved. And, and I'm honored to be here, to be able to tell his story on behalf and being asked here.
Well, we're happy and honored to have you here. So we'll be right back with the unveiling.
You're now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki. In a world of constant noise, one voice can change everything. Moxie Media Marketing, founded by visionary Kenneth W. Welch Jr., is revolutionizing how talent is discovered, developed, and shared with the world. Our global network connects extraordinary artists with audiences hungry for authentic expression. We don't just promote talent, we nurture it, champion it, and build platforms where creativity thrives without compromise. From our groundbreaking Harmony of Generations concert series to digital media innovations, we're creating a new entertainment ecosystem where artists maintain their voice and vision. Moxie Media Marketing, because the most powerful stories are waiting to be told. You are now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki, featuring Steve Keinath.
Well, I'm very excited to do this with you. I think we should do it together at the same time. The unveiling of the monuments. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm very ready and excited to.
So we could just pick this up.
One,
and
two.
drop it when you're done. Ready? One, two,
three.
three. Oh, that's amazing. That's a lot of work.
Yes, there's hours spent, hundreds if not thousands of hours. As you can see, these monuments are unique in a way that it's a picture board story.
Right.
So you can actually, depict, certain aspects of battlefields. I'll explain some of this when I look at it. But there's times like these nurses in Vietnam,
Right.
you see the patch on the back,
Yes.
you see the anguish in the eyes.
Right.
And you'll see a few that are, put on these monuments with porcelain. So
Beautiful.
this one here from 1914 to 1918 was World War I. And as you know, the attrition and the disease and the battle, men were dying in the millions.
Right.
And in England, ammunition shortage, food shortages, energy shortages, and so the women stepped up. They loved their men. They loved to get them home quicker,
Right.
to speed up and get things to the front, so the men didn't suffer as much.
You're now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki. In a world of constant noise, one voice can change everything. Moxie Media Marketing, founded by visionary Kenneth W. Welch Jr., is revolutionizing how talent is discovered, developed, and shared with the world. Our global network connects extraordinary artists with audiences hungry for authentic expression. We don't just promote talent, we nurture it, champion it, and build platforms where creativity thrives without compromise. From our groundbreaking Harmony of Generations concert series to digital media innovations, we're creating a new entertainment ecosystem where artists maintain their voice and vision. Moxie Media Marketing, because the most powerful stories are waiting to be told. You are now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki, featuring Steve Keinath.
Here's the munitionettes.
Right.
Their job was in the munitions factories, and they handled TNT and all sorts of volatile explosives that
Wow.
made up.
Dangerous.
So, they were always at risk of blowing up, getting burned. And actually, there were 3 big incidents where during the war where the factories did blow up. Here you come over, they're called the Canary Girls. And the reason why they're called the Canary, because long time exposure to chemicals turned their skin yellow and their hair yellow. And what would happen is,
Oh, wow.
so more of them died from, health issues after, than
After helping.
after helping. It's beautiful when you do see these being displayed. There's QR codes where you can take your phone and we'll explain
Each story.
stories on these plaques.
Amazing.
A lot of these nurses never seen damage done like that to a human body.
Wow.
And they had to work on these people. The disease was running rapid, and they still lost their lives. And of course, they had to deal with the mustard gas and the blindness. And here's a nurse leading, a chain of mustard gas recipients, which is just awful.
But that must have helped
So
improve.
this monument honors these women for their volunteering and, helping and doing hazardous duties, and they're often forgotten. And here they're not. They're being honored and etched in stone, and not so they won't be forgotten.
You're now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki. In a world of constant noise, one voice can change everything. Moxie Media Marketing, founded by visionary Kenneth W. Welch Jr., is revolutionizing how talent is discovered, developed, and shared with the world. Our global network connects extraordinary artists with audiences hungry for authentic expression. We don't just promote talent, We nurture it, champion it, and build platforms where creativity thrives without compromise. From our groundbreaking Harmony of Generations concert series to digital media innovations, we're creating a new entertainment ecosystem where artists maintain their voice and vision. Moxie Media Marketing, because the most powerful stories are waiting to be told. You are now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki, featuring Steve Keinath.
And this one's the women in the Vietnam War.
Yeah, this is from 55 to 75, women in the Vietnam War. I'm sorry to say there's a World War II one that goes in between this. Things changed during the Vietnam War. Nurses now wore uniforms. And they're all volunteers. 80% of all women in Vietnam were nurses. 60% of those nurses had less than 2 years schooling in medicine. And some is less than 6 months. But they all volunteered, even though it was an unpopular war, and they wanted to make a difference.
Steve, I really appreciate you explaining all of these storylines. I'd love for you to tell me what's going on in the bottom of this one.
Yeah, the bottom one's right up your alley.
Right?
There was no front lines in Vietnam, so the likes of Joey Heatherton and Ann Margaret, Raquel Welch, Phyllis Diller, right there.
My dad's right?
Yeah. Great. But they all risked, going over there. They had the same risks that, they loved the troops so much that they entertainment. And the whole idea was to, help and bring some home to the combat zone,
right?
The war zone, and also to let them forget the soldiers that were there and the sailors, and the nurses to forget the war for a couple hours.
So you're right. That is my world, the entertainment, and I appreciate that they risk their own lives to entertain the troops. Well, I think it's amazing that you're honoring these women, our veterans, and I really appreciate it. It's really an honor to have you here, and I think these are stunning and beautiful.
Thank you, and it's an honor to be here. As Daniel pointed out, these monuments are only temporary. And as a philanthropist and the goal of, the artist and everybody that was involved in these things, it's only right that they go to a place that can be viewed by them. And it's an honor to them to have these monuments placed.
Well, I hope we can find a way to peace. Do you have suggestions for the world of how we can stop these wars?
If everybody would share. The only reason we have wars is because they have something you want. Now, if everybody had something, you wouldn't go get it.
Right.
Or want to, kill people over it, or, steal or take over territory. But
so that sounds like love to me.
Yeah, if you spread the love and joy,
right,
and follow the Lord.
Right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, and thank you. We really are honored to have you here and have these monuments and have them unveiled on the show.
Well, thank you for having me, and it's just graceful that I'm here to be able to tell the story on behalf of everyone that was involved in this project.
You're now watching Spilling Tea with Kiki. In a world of constant noise, one voice can change everything. Moxie Media Marketing, founded by visionary Kenneth W. Welch Jr., is revolutionizing how talent is discovered, developed, and shared with the world. Our global network connects extraordinary artists with audiences hungry for authentic expression. We don't just promote talent, we nurture it, champion it, and build platforms where creativity thrives without compromise. From our groundbreaking Harmony of Generations concert series to digital media innovations, we're creating a new entertainment ecosystem where artists maintain their voice and vision. Moxie Media Marketing, because the most powerful stories are waiting to be told.
Get an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the spectacular Spilling Tea with Kiki premiere celebration at the Four Seasons Hotel Houston, a visionary event that brought digital talent to the mainstream spotlight for many of these TikTok sensations with millions of online followers. This marked their first ever transition from virtual fame to television recognition, a dream made reality through Kenneth W. Welch Jr.'s revolutionary vision for the future of entertainment. Throughout the event, artists shared their excitement and appreciation for Kenneth and the team, crediting Spilling Tea with Kiki as a refreshing space where real talent can shine without all the usual industry hoops. The raw, the real, and the unapologetically bold. This is just the beginning. In upcoming episodes, you'll witness more unforgettable conversations and breathtaking performances from rising stars like Jackie Wyatrowski, Gabriela Muniz, Profound, Samantha Davis, Natalie Valoran, and Maya Zakay. Stay tuned as Spilling Tea with Kiki continues to transform the entertainment landscape by giving voice to emerging talent and bringing authentic stories to audiences everywhere. Once the tea is spilled, there's no turning back.
Stay in the loop. Follow Spilling Tea with Kiki on Instagram and TikTok. Join the conversation today. In a world of constant noise, one voice can change everything. Moxie Media Marketing, founded by visionary Kenneth W. Welch Jr., is revolutionizing how talent is discovered, developed, and shared with the world. Our global network connects extraordinary artists with audiences hungry for authentic expression. We don't just promote talent, we nurture it, champion it, and build platforms where creativity thrives without compromise. From our groundbreaking Harmony of Generations concert series to digital media innovations, we're creating a new entertainment ecosystem where artists maintain their voice and vision. Moxie Media Marketing, because the most powerful stories are waiting to be told.